I'm about to play, after I get done with this little intro, I'm about to play a news clip that just found 2 hours ago. Well, it was posted 2 hours ago. I just found it like 2 seconds ago. And they're saying now how crucial it is. It's some New York mayor saying now how crucial it is that everybody has to wear one of those things, regardless if they have the jab or not. I told you, they're desperate. They're so desperate to push their miracle drug that they're trying to make everybody do this again. And I even went into Lowe's today, and usually, I don't know if Lowe's told their employees that if they did have the jab, that they don't have to wear the thing, or if they just said you don't have to wear it by choice. But I do know that when I was going in there, because I go in there every single day to get lunch, because their hot bar is banging. But for the last while, ever since the mandate was lifted, the law that we had to do something that we don't was lifted, their employees, some were wearing those things and some weren't. And but I went in there today and I noticed and I looked around and every single one of them were wearing them again. And even the people who don't usually wear them that I see in there every single day were wearing them again. And it's funny because there was a new guy working there yesterday, and I asked him when I heard about all this stupid stuff about them bringing the things back. I said, are they going to bring those things back here with you guys or whatever? He was like, I don't know. I just started like 2 weeks ago. This was yesterday. And then today I come in there and they all have those things on again. So I guess their next step is going to try to put the little poster on, put their little, I always say this, their construction paper law on the door, which intimidates the sheeple. They're probably going to put that on the door again sooner or later. I mean, they're going to regret it if they come here, because I'm just going to do my audit shows again and put them online. And let me show you how stupid people are when it comes to those audit shows. Well, they're just stupid all around. The sheeple, not people. Like the people who are dumb when I said, how do we go from 50 people of the population being getting the jab drop? How do we do that to only 48% of the jab? Somebody commented and said 2% died. They'll make excuses, whatever excuse. When you're stupid and you literally are so mentally challenged that you can't figure out things for your own or read or stuff, you're going to make any excuse to make the people who you believe are smarter than you look right. Especially when it comes to your corrupted government. Well, when this is what the sheep will do. I can't even believe anybody at this point can't see why they're trying to do all this stuff and bring it back. It's because they failed. When they told everybody that 50% had the jab and everything, they were expecting that people were going to be relieved because they were going to believe that if 50% in fact did get it, and not a whole bunch of them died and everything, that it was in fact safe. That was what they were trying to get people to believe. And then of course it didn't work, so then they had to start giving out free donuts, free tacos, free life insurance for the rest of your life. I'm just playing. For whatever they can to convince these sheeple into taking it. All of that failed. So now you're going to see this video. I hope none of you let them bring this to your city, because if you guys do and you start going around with this, or going along with this, and just because you don't want any problems, you're basically a traitor to your country, because you're being silent about things that matter. I ain't trying to rip off no Martin Luther King quote. That was really something from my heart. Like, you can't go along with it if you really want to keep freedom in this country, because you're going to be contributing to it. Contributing to the loss of our freedoms, if you go along with their bull crap. If you continue just like the sheep are going to do and think it makes sense, it's going to eventually lead to the demise and the end of what we think is a free country. Because right now, I don't know how long we really have been free, but it's not. But it is free to people. See, people don't understand this. Whenever I say something about the Constitution, they say, oh, they scrapped it out the window and so on, so and so. But if they can't do it. You're the living Constitution. They can't do it. Even if they did supposedly do their little laws or whatever, change something to do it. If you're willing to die for that Constitution, then no, they did not throw it out the window. And they can't. Two people who know it and are willing to die for it, that they can't throw it out the window when it comes that way. When it comes to that, that's the best way I guess I could put it. So now they're trying to cause an even greater divide between the people and telling everybody again that they have to put one of those things on their face again because not enough people are doing what they say. And then they're saying, the guy on this news clip you're about to hear, he was saying this is the most efficient, he's some New York mayor, the most efficient thing to fight this Bud Light virus is these jabs. So now we're asking and saying, bringing up fake laws again and saying you all have to do it regardless if you have it or not. You all have to mask up. And especially if you're around people who don't have it, they're trying to single us out now. They even said we're a pandemic. It's a pandemic of the unvaccinated. I told y'all, this is how dumb they are. Just like the whole toilet paper thing. If they told these sheeple that there's a grass shortage, they go out there and pick up all the grass they can, put it somewhere. They told them it was a dirt shortage. They go outside and try to put dirt in a barrel, in a whole bunch of barrels and stuff, and save it for in case for when finally when all the dirt is gone or all the grass is gone and they might need it one day. They're gonna all harbor that stuff somewhere. Probably make a cellar, a grass cellar. Or clear out their wine cellar and turn it into a dirt cellar. But so now they're trying to call and scare people, cause an even greater divide between us, and get the people who already have this thing to get mad at us if we don't, and just, again, trying to make us all fight with each other over who has it and who does it, when nobody should be fighting over that in America. Because even those of you who do have it, you have no excuse. You don't have the right, and neither does the government, science, or anything else does not have the right in America to take somebody's free choice away. Regardless of if you want them to do it, that doesn't mean that doesn't mean shit. Let's put it like that. Now listen to this clown.
Vaccines are the #1 most powerful weapon against COVID by far. But we also clearly believe there's a place for masks. Everything we do is vaccine-centric. The entire strategy is around vaccines, but of course, we want to make sure people are using masks in all the right ways. Over the last few days, we've reviewed the data from the CDC, some of which came in on Friday, the background research. We've reviewed the recommendations. We're updating our mask guidance based on the latest data and science. So confirming, of course, that already before the CDC's recommendations, masks were already required, mandated for all New Yorkers on subways, buses, mass transit of all kinds, in hospitals, healthcare settings, in schools, and congregate settings. And already it was a rule that unvaccinated people had to wear a mask in all public settings, outdoors and indoors. So what was true before the CDC guidance was the separation between what vaccinated people and unvaccinated people could do was clear, and the way that unvaccinated people had additional requirements in terms of wearing masks was clear. What we'll be saying today, and you'll hear from Dr. Choksi, is we want to strongly recommend that people wear masks in indoor settings, even if you're vaccinated. Now, this is particularly true, of course, if you might be around anyone unvaccinated. If you don't know the people you're around, if you're not sure if they're vaccinated or not, or if you know some are unvaccinated, absolutely crucial to wear a mask, even if you are vaccinated. The difference, of course, is if you're around fully vaccinated people, that's a better situation. So vaccinated people around fully vaccinated people, that's where it's an easier situation. But if you're not sure, and that's going to be many cases, we want to strongly recommend that people wear those masks indoors, even if vaccinated.
I'm going to put the links to both of these news stories in the description box of this video, because I want you to see how many thumbs down that there actually are than the thumbs up. It's hilarious. This next one is trying to push their little mandate, and again, they're blaming it on the variant So for the reason why they have to mandate or whatever, just watch.
Welcome back. Disney joins a growing list of employers who are mandating vaccines in order to return to work. For more on this, let's welcome Tom Gimbel. He's LaSalle Network founder and CEO. And Tom, it's not just Disney. You've got big companies like Walmart and Facebook that are saying the same thing. Do you expect this to be the norm for companies in the near future?
Yeah, I was leading a group of CEOs in conversation last week and talking about this, and the overwhelming feeling was that the majority of companies are going to come back and say vaccinated only in the office over having people mandatory masks in the office.
Because they'd like to let people, if they're in the office, at least be comfortable, go free with that. What's been the holdup to this point? Was it the emergency use authorization, or is the tipping point really the Delta variant and the widespread that we're seeing right now?
Tipping point has been the Delta variant, and the fact that where most people's concern is that now people who've had the vaccine are showing that they have COVID symptoms or having COVID in fact. And so they're saying, what do we do to make sure that people feel safe? And the overwhelming concern when polling employees is that I feel safer around vaccinated people than non-vaccinated people with or without masks. And so what employers are trying to do is appease everybody, but you have to look at it sometime and say the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, and do what you can do to get as many people into the office at once.
You know, that's all fine and well, but even the companies that are mandating at this point are saying that you've got a couple of months to get this taken care of. By then, do you think the Delta variant will have died out, or have it maybe faded into the background a little bit?
Well, obviously, I'm not Dr. Gottlieb, Becky, but my feeling on this is that I have a real problem with companies saying this is where we're going, but we're not starting it for 6 weeks. Employees have had months to get the vaccine since it's been very readily available. And if you actually believe this as an employer, that this is what's best for your employees, start it today. And the fact that they're saying another 6 weeks or 8 weeks is prolonging the opportunity for people to be spreading it within their walls. And that I have a little bit of an issue with. I understand why they want to give people time, but you can start it mandating it now. And then as soon as people get the vaccine, then they can come back in the office and join everybody else.
You know, there's so much kind of back and forth over this. As you said, employers want to please everybody. There's no way to do that in this situation. Where does that leave them? And especially right now when you're talking about a real demand for talent and an employee's market.
That's the big challenge we're facing right now. Is this is the greatest. I mean, I'm in the jobs business. Our company finds companies people that they need for all different types of white collar jobs. And what we're seeing right now, this is the best labor employment situation that I've seen in my lifetime at almost 50 years old, I think of all time right now. And so what we have is companies now are focusing on life with COVID. They're not worried about in the office or out of the office. And they're saying, the government is not going to do a shutdown again, number one. Number two, we are eventually going to be in the office, and companies, I have seen the shift in 6 months of saying, we'll hire people anywhere, to now saying we really want people in the location of where our office is, because eventually they're coming back, hybrid or not, they're coming back in the office. And that is a little bit of a shift in this employment market where there's 9.5 million jobs available, that companies are still saying we are going to want people in the office at least 2 to 3 days a week, and we're going to want people closer to home, the majority.
And are those in urban areas as well? Because I think that may be where you get the most pushback from people not wanting to come in just because of the commute.
No, it's most definitely. I mean, we're seeing it in New York and Chicago, San Francisco, LA, Miami. In urban areas, they're saying you're coming into the office, and that there is the exception that if you can get somebody great who lives in the middle of North Dakota, yeah, you'll do that. But the exception, it's rare. And what you're looking at is saying, if we're going to be paying the same dollars, which has been a huge thing, of you got to pay the same amount in San Francisco or in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the answer is, if you're going to have to pay the same dollars, if employees are going to push that envelope, they're going to say, we want you closer to home.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.